What's going on, guys? Chandler here. So this is going to be my new segment on my YouTube channel called First Listen Review that is taken from my $5 tier full album reactions. So I reacted the entire album, and then at the very end I give my overall thoughts and initial thoughts and a score on the album as a whole. So again, if you do like what you see and want to support the channel going forward, head over to patreon.com/ChandlerBurtonEntertainment. This is exclusive to the $5 tier. Again, you get a full album reaction, review, and a whole bunch of other perks as well if you guys are interested. And again, there's always a link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the review, and thank you all so much for watching. Alright, my friends, so again, the Acacia Strain and their brand new album called Step Into the Light. We're going to be checking out the entire thing. Really excited to check it out with you guys. As I mentioned previously, they just put out a second album, pretty short album, kinda. There's only 3 songs, called Failure Will Follow. I'm treating this album like a gym membership. I'm going to do the free trial, which is going to be their album Step Into the Light. If I like what I hear from this, I will definitely check out Failure Will Follow. The only reason why I don't want to listen to it right away is because, again, the first song is 11.5 minutes, the second song is 17 minutes, and the third song is like 10 minutes, and I just don't like long songs like that. It really does depend on the band, but again, if I like what I hear from this, I will definitely check out Failure Will Follow for sure. I've heard it's different than this album. I heard it's a little more grungier and a little more like different, so I guess I shouldn't compare, you know, apples and oranges. But again, I need to make sure I like this first before I jump into that, because again, like, I don't want to, you know, just be bored the entire reaction. That's not fun to watch. So I'm really excited to check this out here, though. Again, also sorry for this. It's so hot where I'm at today. I'm sorry. I look like a Giga Chad right now with this tank top, and I'm so sorry about that. But I just can't help myself. It is just way too freaking hot where I live today. Oh, just sucks. But we'll see if this room lights up with the Acacia Strain. So again, not heard one song from this album cycle. The album's only like 23 minutes. Like, the songs are like a minute long, which is insanely quick. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm excited to check it out in its entirety here. We're going to be starting with Flourishing. Again, the Acacia Strain's new album, Step Into the Light. Let's pop it off in 3, 2, and 1.
A few moments later.
That was kind of a repetitive outro. Kind of said the same thing over and over. But overall, man, it was, well, it was a really short listen. That's for sure. I mean, it felt like we just started, which is crazy. You know, that's always one of those things where it's kind of, I always kind of worry about that when songs are that short. Like, I don't mind short songs, like between like 2 and 3 minutes. Like, I love songs between like 2 to like 4.5 minutes. Like, that's usually where I like my songs, and that's just, of course, a personal opinion. Some people love long songs, and there are a few longer songs out there that I enjoy, but this album just felt really, really short. But it was hard for me to like take notes, because I was like, it's gonna end in like 20 minutes, so I was like, I have to like do my best to take as many notes as I can. So this will probably just be a really simple, quick first listen review. So I do have some thoughts I want to give, so stick around for my first listen review. That is coming up next. Alright, the Acacia Strain and their brand new album, Step Into the Light. We just got done jamming the entire thing. As I said, this album's a little bit harder for me to review because, again, it's such a short album. I mean, there are EPs that are longer than this album, again, clocking in at like 23 minutes. I've heard EPs that are longer at like, you know, 25, 28 minutes long. So it's one of those things where it's like I don't really have much to say except like pretty general like things about the album, and then of course I'll still give it a score at the very end. But I'd say the biggest pro or the biggest takeaway from this album is that it is like in your face, grungy heavy. Like, the really short songs, they are just so quick and so heavy. I could see where there is an audience for this type of music, where it's like it's so fast paced that people just want a really quick fix of something heavy and then just kind of move on to the next song. I absolutely don't mind that as well. Again, I think this album had a lot of that, and again, as I've talked about before, I'm a metalcore guy. Like, I love good riffs, I love good singing, I love like when songs mix things up, not like so over the top that it like pulls me out of it, but I like when bands kind of try new things incorporated with that familiar sound that I enjoy. But for something like this, you know, if you're looking for like just in-your-face heavy, just a really quick listen, this album is going to do wonders for you. I think that is probably the biggest standout for this album for sure. I would say the con that I have with this album, and it's going to sound like contradicting myself because I've talked about it, you know, in the very beginning, some of the songs are just too short, and because, like, a result of that, it feels like a lot of the songs kind of just blend together. While each of the songs have really good moments in them, like, again, I think one of the biggest standouts on this album are the drums. They are absolutely ferocious, like, on every single song, especially when they're playing them really fast. Super, super cool. The vocals are cool. Like, I love some of the vocal melodies they do. The guitar work, it's just very in your face. And again, a lot of people like that in your face type music. And so I'm not knocking anybody who enjoys this, but my problem with it is that, again, because the songs are so short, like a minute 19, a minute 39, a minute and 11, that's like an intro song to an album. It just feels like, for example, Flourishing, Cast Blood, and Chain, they all kind of feel the same. So it's kind of hard to differentiate what song is which. Like, if I were just to play a song, honestly, maybe because I just listened to it only once, I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference. And so I think that was one of the biggest problems. But again, like, then you have songs like, you know, Fresh Bones, Teeth of a Cursed Dog, Sinkhole, that are a little bit longer, that kind of give those songs a little bit more time to breathe. So I really feel like, I think they're at their best when they make like 2.5 minute songs. I think that range for the Acacia Strain is perfect. It's just with those really short songs, it just feels like it's not, it felt like it just needed a little more time in the oven. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get something big at the very end, and then it kind of just ends. So I feel like some of the songs, while they're good, they're just a little too short to be considered songs. And so again, some of them just kind of blend together for me. My top 3 favorite songs from this album is number 1, Teeth of a Cursed Dog. I love the atmosphere of that song. Like, it's pretty simple. The vocals are great. Like, that one just sounded really cool to me. For some reason, like, anytime, like, there's always that one song on an album that sticks out to me. Like, for example, Sleep Token is dropping their new album this week, and I can't wait for it. They have a song called Are You Really Okay? For some reason, when a certain song stands out to me, I generally like it. It's very rare when I don't, and I really like this one. I thought that this one was definitely a highlight on the album for me personally. My next favorite is probably Sinkhole. That was the first song on the album that was almost like, it was over 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes, and I actually really thought that song was put together really well. Again, like, I just thought that song was so good. And that's what I'm saying, like, when their songs are between, I know it's at 2 to 2.5 minutes, but even a little bit longer, I feel like the Acacia Strain could pull that off really well. So a little bit longer songs next time, Acacia Strain. I would really love to hear a little more. That'd be really cool. And then honestly, I know this was a single, but I really like Unintended Graves. That riff in it with those pinch harmonics in there, I thought that was super cool. The vocals were fantastic. The drums were off the top rope. That was definitely a heater of an album. Like, I see why they released that as a single, to get people excited, because honestly, dude, that song was super sick. But those are the 3 songs that stuck out to me on this album. So to answer my question from the beginning, because of this album, would I listen to Failure Will Follow? A part of me kind of wants to, because I don't think underwhelmed. I guess I was a little underwhelmed with this album, just with how short the songs are. And again, I'm contradicting myself because I say I like short songs, so I should clarify. I like songs between 2 minutes to like 4 minutes, like something around that time frame. 4.5 minutes is like kind of where I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good length for a song. I just felt like some of these songs just could have used a little more time in the oven. I know they've done short songs before, and again, if you like this type of music and like just kind of the heavy, grungy, in-your-face type music, this is going to be an awesome album. As a guy who like loves like metalcore and singing and screaming, like a back and forth balance, and again, obviously, I'm not judging anybody who likes that type of music, because again, like, you know, this is not generally what I listen to. I am familiar with this band. I was a little underwhelmed, but it definitely wasn't like where it's like, I think this is a terrible album. I just felt like, again, with a runtime of 23 minutes, I was like, man, that is a little bit short. So a part of me does want to check out their newest album they just dropped. That the songs are pretty long, but I just want to see what else they have to offer, and so maybe I will try to get around to that. But overall, this album was pretty good. Again, I think the vocals were really cool, the drums were really awesome, the production made everything sound incredibly beefy, which I really enjoyed. So overall, I liked the album. I didn't love it. I don't think this is by any means a terrible album. There may be a few songs I would add to my playlist, like, you know, when I'm working out or doing those types of things, but overall, it was a little underwhelming for me, I won't lie, but not a bad album. I'm going to give the Acacia Strain's new album, Step Into the Light, a 7 out of 10. Again, I thought it was pretty good, but I wish, again, a couple more songs were just in the oven a little bit longer to make it up to that 2-minute mark, because, again, right around that time, for example, like Teeth of a Cursed Dog, that 2-minute, 40-second mark, I think is perfect for this. So, pretty good album.